Oh, it's on.
Okey dokey. Okay, so, what questions do you have?
Tell us your story. How did you meet?
Well, she was selling chances for Our Lady of the Assumption, and her grandma asked my mom if she would take her down to South End because she knew more other people to sell the chances, which my mom did. And in the meantime, my mom wrote that there was this real nice girl that she was taking around, like she did a couple other women, and they had to sell the chances to be queen for that organization. And then my dad was sick, got in the hospital, St. Joe's, and I got emergency leave, and I came home, and I walked up into my dad's room, and there was this lady sitting in a chair, and she went up there to see her friend Rose, who had a miscarriage. My dad was in the hospital, so she went to see my dad. And I looked at her, and I said, "That's the lady I'm going to marry." And I said, and the guy in back of her, I said, "Nah, he's not no competition with me. I'll pound the hell out of him."
Who was the guy?
I found out found out it was her brother Nick. So now you finish.
Well, wait, let's go back a little bit further. How did you know Dawn?
Well, Grandma called her and told her to see if she allowed me to sell chances
How did she know her?
From the South End.
all day. Because they
Okay.
used to live down the South End.
Okay.
Everybody knew everybody.
And then that's
Okay.
how I met his dad. I knew his dad and his mom before him. And she took me all over. And that's how we met. So after one day, I had to go back to get some, I think some books. I had to bring some more books. And then he was over in Jenny. And he was sleeping.
Now, where did Aunt Jenny live at that
Right
time?
on Joel.
Julius, about a half a block away.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went over there, he said he'd give me a ride. And then Lena said, "I'm not waking him up." That's what he told me, that he wanted me and Jenny woke him up and give me a ride home. And then he said he wanted to date me. And my mom didn't want me to date. I was only 16. And I talked to Uncle Danny, and Uncle Danny talked her into it. So we had one date.
Where'd you go?
What's your show?
A scary one.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
Something about a man turned the stone or
Yeah,
something.
man turned to stone.
And I was so scared, that's all I did was go like this. And Uncle Joe took us and picked us up.
Yeah.
And why? You weren't
He
driving?
didn't have no
I didn't have a car. I was still in service.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we started riding with each other, and that's it.
Do you still have those letters?
We got rid of them.
You got rid of them.
Yeah,
we
they're-
moved.
That's all right. We still got the memory of what was in them and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at a point where I couldn't write to her, I would write Aunt Jenny and have a double envelope. And then Joey would take it out of the envelope and bring it down to her and give it to her when she was working at Grants. And then when we got out, I got out of service.
How much longer?
It wasn't that long. I got out of emergency leave because of my dad and medical bills and everything. And then I tried to get her going out more often because I really liked her, and I knew that was the lady I was going to marry. There was no way, and nobody was going to change my mind, not even her.
So he'd come over every night, over my Rainer, and he'd have dinner with us.
I wanted to get to know her mom and dad, and to where they would trust me with her.
Plus, they were really good cooks, so.
Well, I mean, that was the second, well, really, I don't know which one was the first reason.
We didn't have no money, so we used to go to the pizza box.
Buy
On the
pizza,
block.
and with the pizza, they'd give you 6-pack of pop. And that's what we did. We bought the pop, and we bought the pizza and sat on her swing in the front big porch
We had
and
a big,
ate,
big porch.
they went about halfway around the house.
That big white house on
Big white
Rainer.
house, on Rainer, yeah.
Damn room.
Beautiful.
I had it now.
Beautiful. God, it was,
Now it's an apartment building.
right, now it's an
The
apartment
three
building, yeah. But they had the gas lights still in there, and
I remember getting burnt by an
Uh-huh.
iron.
Yep,
Yeah.
I was right there and by that, the fireplace.
you know,
And I told her, I had to go get something. Don't touch it. What is your mother? Touch it.
oh yeah. You know,
She was
so,
young, probably
Right.
maybe 3. Something like that.
Oh,
So-
her story's a lot. Yeah, but they're all good memories. All of them are good memories. I'm glad we have them, and I'm glad we got the kids that we have. I'm glad we have the grandkids that we have, and especially the great-grandkids. I can spoil the heck out of them.
They go home.
I can see what my grandkids did compared to my kids, because a lot of times I was always working two different jobs, and I wasn't home all the time. And at least with my grandkids, I saw more of what I missed on my own kids. And now with my 2 great-grandkids, they're all of them. I could never pick one over the other, which one is the most precious. They all have their own quality. They all have their own individual person, and they love me and Grandma.
Except Sam, we had her for 9 years all by herself.
Yeah.
And she was spoiled.
So, what we're facing now in this economy, a lot of people are out of work. The economy is it's so much like it was years ago. What advice can you give families and couples on how to face what could be some trying times ahead?
I think if they're in a hole already, there's no, they'll never get out of it. They'll never get out of it. But like your mom, Grandma, and we never bought anything unless we had the money for it. I know I wasn't making that much money, so it took us extra long time to buy it. But when we bought it, we paid for it. I know these kids nowadays, they have big houses. They're making more than I did, so you can't say they're making more now than when I made. Well, they did make more money than when I was growing up and had a family to raise. And a lot of times we put an awful lot of potatoes in a stew and a lot of water to make more juice. But they never went out without a meal. They never went without medicine. And most of that was because of Laura, the way she handled everything. With me, I would have been on a poverty roll a long time ago. But with her, the only thing is nowadays it's so easy with the plastic to spend. And knowing that you don't have the money. And with the kids now, most of it is going to the younger kids. The younger people are buying stuff for the younger kids to keep in competition with other kids. Because I know how my kids felt when we didn't have everything that the neighbors had and everything else. They were probably disappointed in us. But I hope now that they realize that what we did was for their love and for what we could afford. Although I did go out a few times when they needed something, when they said something, they wanted something that they got. And but all in all, if they would only stop and think, what are they buying? Do they really need it now? Medicine and food, my kids will never go without. Doctor bills, if I possibly can, they'll never have to sell their house because of that, because I will always make sure that those bills are paid. I'll pay them personally, not give them the money because they'll probably blow it.
Right.
And I love my kids, I love my grandkids, so the older you get, the more I think of when I was younger, growing up, how my dad and ma sacrificed for me, and I could never be the man my dad was. The love in that man was just tremendous. And I think of him more now than when I was with him. But that's my memories of my dad. So my dad is not dead, he's still with us. Now you say so. I'm talking too much.
Mom, tell me what, over the years, what qualities have been consistent with Dad? You know, what is the thing that attracted you to him, and what qualities have kept you wanting to keep going in some of those trying
He was a
times?
good man. He had a temper. He didn't have no patience, but he got a little milder as he got older. And
Once he became a grandpa.
Like,
Once he became a grandpa, he became a marshmallow.
yeah.
but he did. He had a temper.
Well,
He had a temper.
I was
And he didn't
not
want-
mature
Yeah.
as other people were.
He didn't want me to work, but so what I do, I'd go get a job before I tell him. And then I'd
But,
get a job.
There was,
Because I was going to shopping and I was counting the pennies.
Right.
But then he'd understand. But,
it hurt my pride that my wife had to work because I felt like I was I wasn't a man. I wasn't providing for my family the way I should have.
but that's,
I think a lot of men feel that way
You know,
when, you know, they live in the.
yeah, because they,
Life has changed, the
Yeah.
world has changed.
Well,
circumstances.
especially in that time in history, it, you know, having two income families wasn't very predominant.
No,
And
they
now
stayed home.
it's second nature.
now
you
you,
know?
you have to have because of
you got
the
to.
price of everything.
Right.
And I feel sorry for these young people that owe $40,000 or $50,000 on their credit cards and just barely make a minimum payment. They'll never pay that off. I don't know. Trying to give them some advice and say, think twice before you spend it. And do you really need it now? I'm not saying in a month or 2 months, but do you really need it now?
But see, when you're young, you don't think of it.
But when you're young,
No.
you figure there's always tomorrow. I'll always be able to pay it off. And then all of a sudden, we get in a situation we are now with so many people out of work. And God, it's
But it was
all you
rough.
can do is pray for the people that's in office now, that they will have the knowledge of how to get us out of this. We've gotten into this. I don't care who was president, who wasn't president, if they're Republican or Democrat, we're in the position now. We've got a new president, stick by him. Maybe you didn't like him. I didn't like him in the beginning. I mellowed, and I think the man deserves a chance. Don't crucify him before he gets a chance to prove he can do something.
Well, right, and not only that, who wants to be in his position? You know, he's got a huge mess to deal with. Whoever, no matter who it was, the most intelligent person in the world, when you've got a huge mess in front of you, it's, you know,
Yeah.
I don't envy
It's
him.
hard. I
But
I
if the
think it's worse
Republicans and the
now. I
Democrats
think it's
can work
worse
together,
now.
we can get out of this.
Right.
No, but I think it's worse now than it was in those days because homes were not that expensive. Well, the wage wasn't that high, but now it's harder for the kids.
It's the society's mentality has completely changed
It is.
now, and that's the
Yes.
biggest thing. You know, everything is so convenient. We're getting completely off the subject,
I
but
made everything by, you know, all the cooking and stuff, everything was, I didn't buy a lot of stuff. Cookies, I pick them up for lunch and
right.
make them lunch and stuff like that. I made all her clothes when she was in kindergarten.
She
She
still
wasn't
wears
too
them.
happy about it, but they were cute.
Right.
But in those days, nobody made clothes,
Right.
and everybody went to the store.
Right.
And I remember growing up, when you would go to Carl Sandburg, you would pick us up for lunch. So we would go home 8 or 9 blocks from school and have porcupine
Porcupine meatball.
meatballs and things like that. And I remember some days thinking, can't we just be normal? Can't we just have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like the rest of my friends? Thinking that what somebody else has
Right.
is better, because you become accustomed,
Mm-hmm.
You know, that becomes the norm. The wonderful good food that you ate becomes the norm, and then you're wanting some of what
Right.
somebody else
You,
has.
you take for granted all that you have, you don't see it,
Yeah.
and that's a big problem right now, but,
And that's all a part of growing up. You
oh,
think that
definitely.
you need to have all these other things, and you wanna have what your friends have, and kids.
It's part of
It's part of
all
growing
kids.
up. It's part of growing
It's-
up and
yeah.
trying not to take it personally,
No,
knowing that when your kids are in that situation, they're gonna say, now I realize.
no.
Right.
And they do,
But
they do.
it's everybody, it's all kids do that.
Right.
I mean, you can't, it's part of it.
Speaking of all kids, I would like to know what it was like for you growing up in Italy. Because in our society today, you know, with growing up in the United States, you know, which is pretty much a huge melting pot of different cultures. And, you know, when people think of the American culture, not a lot of good things come to mind. You know, it's a very gluttonous attitude, a very wasteful attitude, and I want my children to know, and I want my grandchildren to know, and their children to know about where our family came from, about what trials that you and your family went through in Italy.
It was rough, but
Go ahead.
we were really happy because everybody was in the same boat. Whatever we made, that's what we ate. You know, we had farm, we had 2 cows,
You
we had
had,
a donkey.
2, Pepino and Rosie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when one died, then we had a pig, and January 15, we always killed a pig.
And then what
And
did you
that's
do?
what we ate, and my mom ate prosciutto, everything else. And we had chicken, and I used to milk the cow, and then we had sheep, goat. So,
No, you didn't have electricity, correct?
just a little bit, but we didn't have no bathroom. We only had to eat from the fireplace.
So what did a normal day for you consist of?
Well, what I did, I was sick, like I had rheumatic fever, and then later on I had the burst appendix. So what I did, because when I was sick, so they would go to the farm, and I would do all the cooking, and I would bring it to the farm for my dad.
How old were you?
I started cooking when I was about 9 years old, and then when I felt better, I was a little older, then I started, you know, worked on the farm, but at first I was sick. So I did the cooking and cleaning and everything else.
And how big was your house?
We had like one big room, it was the kitchen, and then the fireplace, and then on one side, like in the wall, we had this big, you know, those little things over there. That's where we got our water.
Oh, the little.
Water containers.
Copper
No.
hose.
And we'd go get the water. And then we had another room, and that was like where we had our table and everything. And then we had 2 rooms upstairs and 2 rooms in the basement.
Now, what did you and your family do if someone was sick or, you know, had a fever, headache, or for like medicines?
They had like a place like a drugstore and stuff, but we really, with my rheumatic fever, I never had any medicine.
So, I mean, was it pill form like today, or was it herbs? Was it?
Mostly herbs, like for a cold, my mom would boil some wine and put some sugar, and we drank that, and then she gave us this wool sweater and cover up, and then when it was cold in the wintertime, my dad made up something with the wood, and he got the things for the fireplace and put it in there, warm up our bed, so we wouldn't be cold. But the mattress in my little bed, it was from corn stuff and you know.
Corn
Right.
stalks.
Yeah. That's,
And what? Your town was very small, correct?
150 family.
Okay, so it was a very close-knit community?
Oh yeah.
And,
Everybody helped each other.
And how was it coming over here to the United
It
States?
was rough because
Were you excited about the opportunity to come here? What
Yeah.
drew the family to the
we
States?
were because all my mom's family were in the United States. I didn't know none of them except my grandma. She came back I think twice. No, she came back when I was 13. And but I never knew them. I knew by the picture and that's it. So I didn't know none of my cousin. And it was rough. And my mom was sick. She started being sick. I don't know, maybe the year before. Because Nick, somebody tried to kill him. And that like because they were jealous we were coming to the United States, so somebody tried to kill him. And my mom sent us to school in Karamine. We walked about an hour. She wanted me to learn a little more. And then she sent me to seamstress for 3 months. And I was helping making a wedding dress. So I would know something. So, but that's it. Everybody went to school there for about 2 or 3 years, and that's it. And
So where did you come into the United States at?
it was in New York.
New York. Okay.
Yeah, it was November 24th. We got to New York, and then we took the train.
And what year was that?
1954, and we came to Joliet at 7 o'clock, November 25th, and it was Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So then where did you go? I mean, how did you get to be in that house on Rainer?
Okay, we lived with Grandma for a while, for about an hour, about a year and a half. And then Nick got a job, and my dad went to work.
From Milano?
Yeah, the weekend. I think it was about 2 or 3 days after we came here, and he went to work in Milano. Then Nick went to work. Well, he was working at Yankee, setting the bowl.
Bowling balls.
And then he went to work at, I think it was in March, went to work at Caterpillar. And then he saved some money, and my dad, and we got that house in Rainer.
Do you remember how much it cost at that time?
Can't remember. Trying to remember. Maybe 12, 15,000.
Now, when you were in Italy, wasn't that during the war?
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like?
I can remember, I was 3 years old, and I can remember this guy from England. Because what we did, we tried to help the English. And the German didn't know, because if they knew we were helping the English, we would feed them and everything, they would kill us. So all the people tried, because the German took my dad. And
What do you mean took your dad?
they took him, well, they didn't take him to prison, they took him and he was a cook for them. So they didn't harm her or anything. And my mom,
Where did they take him?
by a mountain, it was by Santa Eufemia.
For how long?
I can't remember how long, but he was there for a long time.
And how did your family have to?
Well, what we did, we had like some salami and stuff, and my mom got the salami and put some nails inside the fireplace, and we hung everything, all the food. Now the German would do everything. And I remember one German came in, and Nick was laying in the bed, and Nick was real light. He was almost like a German.
Yeah, very blonde.
And so they left him alone, because they would take kids and everything. And they left him alone because and I was blonde. And I remember this tall English guy. We were sitting in the porch, right there by the fountain, and I'd be sitting in his lap. And I remember, and he would be cracking the walnuts for me. I could never forget that. I don't know why, but I remember that.
And so someone would have to take him food every day?
Not all the time, but my mom
Okay.
would go see him once in a while. But no, he had the food because he was
Right,
the
okay.
cook. But I can't remember how long he was gone. I remember when he came back and he was making this bread and it was flat. Almost like a pizzelle, the salty, but
Right.
it was so flat, and I used to love him. to cook on the fireplace probably.
What would you say is your most memorable childhood memory? Good, memorable childhood memory.
Playing with the kids on the floor. We'd be sitting, this Tony's mother-in-law and this other girl from Canada. We'd be sitting on the floor with all the kids, and we'd be playing jacks with stones, and going to the farm and go watching. I had to go take the cow to the farm and watch them, let them, eat. And what I remember that I used to like is my dad made it's like a stick with a little, like a T, and I'd go not too far from where we had all the animal, and I would go like this and put all the beans. Do that on my
On a
hand.
hole?
Yeah,
So you-
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Right
it was
on the
like
wood.
this tall, and I go like this, put the thing, and then, and I used to enjoy that.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what about you? What's your biggest? What was your childhood like?
Like everybody on the south end, we all, it didn't make any difference down there if you had money, if you didn't have money. If your dad worked in the bank, my dad worked in the brickyards, some people everybody was equal down there. Nobody looked at anyone that was a different color as being different. We were all neighbors, we all helped each other. We all got along good, but if you messed up by the time you got home, your parents sure knew about it. And boy, if you lied, I did it one time. I tried lying to my dad. My mom and dad were on the porch, and my dad got up to give me a swat on the hind end. My mom got up and she got in the way and gave her a black eye. But it was to where all the kids would play together. I mean, everything was,
With Mario.
everybody was equal. Mario was my best friend. He Benedetti. I think a lot of the man, I think about him a lot now. I think more now than actually when he was alive, because I knew when he was alive, I could call him and he could call me and we just talk. And that was it. I had some other good friends down there, but really nobody took the place of Mario. In all my life, he has always been my best friend. Because we grew up together, we went to grade school and high school together. He could tell me something, I could tell him, and it never went no further. But we had good people down there, and we had some people that weren't that nice, but we got even on Halloween. We'd get some dog crap and put it in a bag, and put it on their step, and then
And
ring
start
the
it on
doorbell and
fire.
line it and run. And laugh like heck when they come out to step on it. But I mean, all in all, there was nothing that we would do to hurt anybody, because we knew we were going to get it when you got home. As for education, we went to Sacred Heart School, $1 a month tuition, and the people that couldn't afford the $1 a month, their kids stayed over and cleaned the blackboards. Well, we figured they were having all the fun, so we helped them too. I mean, nobody looked at higher than anybody, and nobody looked under anybody.
Everyone was equal.
Everybody was equal. The kids were all equal. It didn't make any difference if you were Negro, it didn't make any difference. You were Irish, you were German, I tell you. We didn't look at that.
Right.
We never knew discrepancy on anyone. No way. And when anybody needed anything, we were there to help. Anybody, we would help. And I think the closeness of the people I miss, because in neighborhoods now you don't see that.
Right.
And I try to be very friendly with my neighbors, and most of them, I have very good neighbors. And at first I think they were afraid because I came on maybe too strong,
Right.
you know. But I like to talk to them. If they need a hand on anything, I would always be there to help them. But if people aren't used to that, I think you scare them, you know.
Oh, right.
And I think that's what's missing now, is you can live in an area 10 years and not even know your neighbor. You know, down at South End, person would move in 10 minutes, everybody knew it. There was no problem of anybody saying anything, anybody doing anything, because we just all got along good.
Right, right.
You know.
Now, just to be clear, where is the neighborhood that you grew up?
It was 1 block south of McDonough Street on Ottawa. We lived at Ottawa, Monroe, where Sacred Heart. School was 1.5 blocks away. The church, rectory, and the nun's house were 1.5 blocks away. That's where my home was, on the corner of Ottawa and Monroe. C&M Tavern was there, A&P was there, Monanos was there. We had taverns all over the place. Everybody had a little grocery store down there. But that's what they call the 6th Ward.
Okay. And what's your most memorable childhood experience, memory?
One of them, but I can't say.
Why?
You know, I don't know. It's a mixture of. I really can't pinpoint any one thing that I remember the most of, because every day was something different. Every day you were doing something different with the guys. You were playing ball out in the street. Nobody had a glove. You got tin foil for the ball. You got a branch off a tree for the bat. If you played hockey, you smashed a beer can and you got a twig off the tree with a big knob on it for your club. Everybody was the same. I think the friendliness and I think the friendliness is what I miss the most. Everybody was friendly. Everybody knew each other. It didn't make any difference if you were a postman, if you were what. And boy, if you disrespectful for the older person, you got it. I got it quite a few times. And my big mouth. And when I got home, my dad got me by the back of the neck and one swat and he raised me off the floor. But nowadays you do that and you end up in jail. But there's so many memories I got from the South End, and it's hard just to pick one that stands out. Well, no, one of them is the best. I used to go up and help Mario with the bakery, in the bakery shop. Put bread in the bags, or bring the flour up from the basement. No, nothing was conveyors. Mario would pick up 100 pound in each hand and walk up. I'd throw 100 pound on my back, and I just barely make it up the steps. But we laughed and we joked and kidded at the bakery. We eat the hot bread. We'd go to next door and get a big hunk of butter, spread the butter. That's my biggest memories. That's my biggest with Mario and some of the guys that we'd meet up there, and then we'd all do the same thing. We'd all work up there and get in everybody's way and get hollered at and go home.
And hopefully grab a loaf of bread on the way.
Oh yeah, always a hot loaf. Always a hot loaf of bread.
So, because, I mean, obviously, you know, Andrew and Alex and a lot of the kids don't remember Dawn or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
What's the best way that each of you would describe your parents for something to pass on to your grandkids and great-grandkids about your family?
My dad always said, if you want to be treated nice, you'll treat them nice. If they don't treat you nice, you still treat them nice, because if you don't, then you're worse than they are. Be honest with yourself, number one. Respect yourself, number one. Number two is be honest with yourself and be honest with the people you consider as friends. None of this talk behind their back or try and get arguments going between friends. No, that's way out in the Stone Age. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your friends, and you'll never lose them. You'll never lose them. You'll gain new ones, but don't ever give up the old ones.
Right.
Don't ever. My dad had the biggest heart and the biggest hands that I ever saw in a man. My mom, her heart was wonderful. My sisters, only one I always argued with, but that was Gloria because she was home with me. But Lena and Jenny, they all both had their families. And thank God that their kids consider us, Aunt and Uncle always have us for their kids' parties. And I think that's the main thing. You've got to have a family tie. You've got to be tied in with your family. No matter if they're good to you or not. When you get older, you'll find out the reason they acted that way was not because they wanted to. Maybe they had worries on their mind. Maybe they had bills to pay. And you wanted a toy truck for $5. And they say, no, but you could buy a lot of meat for $5 in those days.
True. What about you, Grandma?
About my mom or my dad?
Both.
Both.
My dad was very easygoing. I mean, my dad never once hit me. Except one time he, right by our property, there was a tree, a walnut tree. And one of them fell in our property and I went to pick it up. My
The tree?
dad, the
Walnut.
walnut.
Oh, the walnut.
And this guy that owned, the other land. And my dad got a piece of stone. He said, don't ever do that because the guy was real mean. And my mom had more problems. She was the one that took care of everything.
Right.
And she had to work to a law.
Keep going.
Okay, she had to go to a lawyer and everything. My dad worked, and she was more like you got a spanking coming? She did. But she
Was it a wooden spoon? Was it the back of her shoe?
No, just with her hand.
With her hand.
Yeah, but she was a good mother. Everything, she was sick. And she went through a lot. And I remember when my sister got married. And I was 9 years old. So the next day I missed her. So I took off without telling my mom. And I went, it's like a half an hour walk or more. I took off. And I went to visit her. And I got home, I really got it. And I remember when I was young too, I started learning how to crochet. We made with a little piece of wood and made like the shape of a needle. And that's how I started learning how to crochet and stuff. But my mom had a lot of problems. She had a lot of problems. We didn't know that she had started in that way.
What kind of problems?
I think with all the problem in Italy and with Nick being almost got killed and coming to this country, you don't know the language, and it was hard because my dad was almost 55, and it was rough. It was rough, and she went to work for a while at Seamstress, and I worked across the street from Grandma's house. I worked as I used to clean the house for Howell, and I used to be iron. It was rough on us. And I went to school for 3 months at JCA. I used to walk home, and then one time I'm coming home, I took the bus. Well, I got off a block away, and I don't know where I was. I was so scared. This woman picked me up to me home. And well, a couple years after you've been here, it's hard.
Right, sure.
And but I used to walk and with these 2-3 girls, and we used to sing "You Are My Sunshine." But then my mom got sick, and she was at Mercyville in Aurora, and so I was taking care of my dad. We had the 10-room home and doing everything, and I just couldn't handle everything and trying to study, and so I quit after 3 months. And then I went to work at Grant in January of 56. And I stayed there for 3 years, and I was a window designer.
In other words, she dressed up dummies. She still does.
Yeah, I used to go there as 7 o'clock in the morning, and I used to open, I walked from Raynham to Chicago Street. And I used to open the door for the people coming in, and I'd be done with the window. And then when I was done with the work, me and another woman, and then I'd be working whatever they needed me.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and then I went to work at Rockdale when I was pregnant with Laurie. I worked at the Brody, and they were making cashmere coat. And my job was, I did the lining, the buttons, and it was, every time we made a cashmere coat, you can see it's a good coat, you put 2 buttons, one outside and a little one inside. So you had double button. And then all our cashmere, we used to put like a little star in the bottom. So that's what I did.
So what year did you get married?
59.
59, and how did you propose?
She proposed to me.
No, I didn't.
No, we went to my brother-in-law's brother's wedding, Donnie and Beatrice. And we got, when they left there, they went to their apartment. Then after that, I said, I gotta get something. So I got, I think it was Jenny, my sister Jenny, go down with me to the jewelry shop and get an engagement ring. And which she wasn't too happy. And Lena, oh God, she was tied to be fit anyway. But, because, that's a different story. But Lena was still a good sister. And so then I forgot, we went to the show, or went over to my sister's house,
It
Gloria's
was my
house.
birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday, that's right
And
too.
you wanted me to invite your sisters.
Yeah,
And that's when you got me the ring.
that's what I got.
So you proposed in front of your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even knelt down.
Yeah?
And I had a big blister in my leg, and I said I had a fever blister or something.
Yeah.
So I could only kiss him halfway because my birthday and like,
Yeah. But that was still one of the best half kisses I ever had.
so, but we went together almost 2 years. Yeah, but he wanted to go steady. As soon as he met me, I said, no, I wasn't ready.
Well, I wanted to tie her up. I didn't want nobody else sniffing around
I
her,
really
that's
wasn't
all.
ready
Right.
to commit with anybody because I just wanted to learn different things. And
So-
but my mom liked him. At first, she didn't like him.
Probably just because the,
He was
Besides,
big.
yeah,
She was afraid he was going to take advantage of me. And she said, if
she
he
took
gives you...
advantage of me.
No, he didn't. You know what? When I used to go out with him, I used to say a prayer to St. Anthony.
Well,
So he would keep me safe.
well, he kept you safe.
Right?
Because I said, he will never touch me until we get married.
Yeah.
And
he
so you
did.
got married, and where did you get married at?
St. Anthony's downtown. We had 3 priests. Father Paul Pusatori, which couldn't take the change in the church, so he became a monk. Father John Rolzoni, he left the church because he couldn't take the change. And he was working with the Chicago diocese in Chicago, married couples that had problems. And we had Father Ray Stonich. He is now at Mooseheart, with his chaplain for the kids out there. So we had 3 priests. And I figured, well, between the 3 of them, they'd make sure that everything
Right.
was tight, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So then you guys got a house on Cypress?
No, God, no.
no, lived with Dawn.
We lived with my mom for a while, and then that got a little tricky, you know. And
It was with the family, when you're living with somebody, if you,
It
unless
doesn't
you
work.
got your own apartment,
it don't work. It will not work. I don't care who they are.
No,
Then we moved down to this Hebert's house. He had a bedroom and a kitchen and a little chemical toilet. And that was the 3 rooms you got, those 2 rooms, and that's what it was. And we moved down there, we had our furniture and everything. We had a heck of a good time down there. And then we moved back with my mom after that.
I was pregnant.
She was
And
pregnant.
I lost the first baby.
Yeah. And then I come home one night and I just told her, I said, you know, look in the paper, see what, how
But
houses.
that was after the kids were born.
Yeah, after the kids were all born. All except Ned. Ray and Lori, when we were on Monroe Street.
Well, tell them about her, she will not come by you.
Well,
yeah.
hang on. With Lori, what was it like having your first child?
It was nice.
It was,
It was.
the best experience a person could have is when they hand you their baby, your first baby, and the first thing you look at is, got all the parts, you've got hand fingers, the right kind of plumbing and everything. But although when they handed me my second daughter, I had the same feeling, and when they handed me my son, I still had the same feeling. It's
Right.
just a
Cry
thrill that part of you will never die because you're living on with that person. And part of you is on being their kids, and then their kids, and then their kids. So as long as they know who you were, you'll never be dead. You'll always be alive somewhere along the line. And our daughters were always sick. And we had Dr. Hummel, which was a wonderful baby doctor. He was up off of Jefferson Street. In fact, his nurse would call whenever there was a house for sale in that area. Because every 2 weeks we were up there.
Yeah,
Every
because
two,
Marie
in
was
fact,
sick.
we were just
What was wrong?
With the
colds,
tonsils.
tonsils.
She had a problem.
Yeah, but Mrs. Schultz, I can't. Yeah, we didn't have to go in the front door. We came in the back door. And she always had the room ready for us. And
Kids used to pay $10 a month, we can afford it.
yeah,
She was
And,
happy about that.
she was. Dr. Hummel never asked us to pay. Never said you got to pay so much of this or that. No. Well, you made $5 payment. You made a $5 payment. You made your payment.
Yeah.
That's all, you know. And he was one of the nicest doctors. I mean, to put up with us. But on the average, every 2 weeks we were in the doctor's office.
Wow.
That's why she would always call me and say, Ned, there's a house down the street for sale. You know, you don't have to drive so far.
So what were your kids like growing up?
They were no better or no worse than any other kid growing up. I know they thought probably that one got more than the other. Maybe they did, not intentionally. I tried to love all my 3 kids the same. What nicknames they gave them each other, I can't say on the tape. But I mean, I could see why.
Chia, Marie was,
Yeah, Marie was Chia. Lori, I forgot was what.
just Lori. I think
Lori,
she
Lori.
had a
I don't think
nickname.
Lori had a
No,
nickname.
no, Ned
Ned was
couldn't, my
Butch.
son couldn't pronounce Marie, so he called Shia.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Shia or
Yeah.
dirty diaper, but no, they were all,
They were good kids.
They were
All you
good.
boys were
They
real
were-
quiet.
to
Never
this
give us a
day.
problem.
they are still good kids. We could take them anywhere, and we didn't have to worry about them touching anything from anybody. When they were at home, they got a little slap on the hand and said no, and then they understood you don't touch things. We could take them anywhere, and they'd fall asleep in the middle of the street, middle of the room. They didn't care. They tired, they lay
Especially
down and go
you,
to
you
sleep.
like to sleep.
We spent many evenings, whether it be at Don Carter's home or Ron Carter's,
Yeah.
the parents would play cards and the kids would play, and
Oh, yeah,
I do remember just curling up on the
No,
floor and just,
go to sleep.
No.
We had
No.
there were
They
some
were
good
good
times.
kids.
good friends.
Never had a problem.
We started a card game going, and our kids were always asleep before we left. But
Cheryl,
we had the girl down this 2 floors down, babysitting, which they knew and they liked her. And we were all 5 minutes, most furthest place was 5 minutes away from my house.
Right.
If they needed us to go back on. But we always made sure that they were asleep and they slept all night. like I say, they were no better or no worse than any of the other kids nowadays.
You gotta go. Okay.
But
Say hi to Charlotte.
say hi.
Call me.
And it was good. I didn't see that growing up that much because I was always always with different jobs, night jobs or day jobs or in between jobs or working 2 jobs. So I saw more of what they did day by day, day by day, day by day. I mean, I love them. I love my grandkids, great grandkids. But now you tell them.
Oh, when your mom, when he had surgery on his, they cut his, your mom will not, even when she was a baby, she would not be close to grandpa. For 3 years, she would not go by
I couldn't
him.
hold her.
And
She screamed her
finally
head
then,
off.
she was sick. And,
I just put my arms around her and I
I
said,
said,
little
"You know,
girl, you're gonna cry until you get used to me. I'm not gonna put you down. And that was it. I think what it was my voice.
yeah, she was scared of his voice.
My voice would get loud.
Right, right.
And as for not having much patience, it got loud all the time, most of the time. And I could see why she was afraid of me, but when she was sick, I figured, no,
Right,
I'm your dad, I'm gonna hold you.
right,
That's how it is to it.
right,
Cry yourself to sleep, but I'm still gonna hold you.
right. And what was it like? I mean, what is it like now? I can't even imagine, you know, you guys have been together over 50 years, you know, since you've been dating and everything, and the scope of change in your life and seeing, you know, your kids be babies and grow up and have their own families. I mean, how does that make you feel? How does that?
It makes me feel like I am the richest person in this world. To see the joy of when they come up this driveway and say, Papa, Yaya, Mom, Grandma, Yaya. And see how they run to you and the hugs that they give you.
You don't realize until.
You don't
go through
realize
it. You
until-
go through it.
One of them's gone or they're out of town or something, you don't see them for a while. And I don't want to be forgotten with my grandkids, or great grandkids. And I don't think I will because I know you'll bring up Papa. They know Papa, who Papa is. Even as young as Trent is, he knows who Papa is. He knows who Grandma is. And they like to come over to our house because we spoil them, and that's what grandparents are for, is to spoil the kids. I spoiled my grandkids, I'm going to spoil my great-grandkids as long as I'm alive, to a certain point.
But they still get correct.
I mean, but they still get corrected. I mean, spoiling them is not letting them do what they want. Spoiling them is just once in a while.
Who's coming? What are you doing?
This is the youngest one, this is Trent.
Oh, okay, this is,
He's my last little dribbit so far. But he's got to have his coffee.
Yaya's coffee.
Yaya's coffee.
So, you know, as your kids grew up and left the house, what was that like, having them there and then not there?
It
And,
was kind of lonely,
I do it.
but it was, I knew that they had to make their own life. I don't get a chance to see them as much as I'd like to, but they have their own family, and I understand why, because they're taking care of their family. Now, if they weren't taking care of their family, I would probably be seeing more, but I thank God that they are healthy. And I thank God that they love Grandma and I, and they love
Mommy
for
said
cooking.
enough. Mommy said enough.
No
that's
more
fine.
coffee.
Go see Barney. Go
Go
see Barney.
Barney, okay?
Yeah. Go see Barney.
And
Go see Barney.
I know they felt the same way when they had their first child, the joy that it's theirs. I never really thought of them being mine until I held them. And once I held them, I knew they were mine, and nobody was gonna take them on me. And nobody could take them.
Right.
And, no, Karen, no. And,
Watch TV.
but, no, I'm very satisfied with my girls, my boy, my grandkids, my great-grandkids. They love and respect us, that's all that matters.
And what's it like, what was it like when I was born? You know, your first grandchild?
Oh, God, you spoiled rotten. I
We
think
used
you
to see
still
all
are.
the time. We used to see all the time. how
We
much
saw you all the
time.
time. Your mom was going to work, she was trying to get it.
No, that was after.
Well, I mean, it's still,
Well, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, we had you a long time. We had you when you were in grade school. We never knew who you were going to bring home from grade school. And once in a while, the kids, they'll come up and call, "Hi, Papa, how you doing?" Or, "Hi, Grandma, how are you?" And no way in heck do I remember who they are, because when I saw them, they were 2 foot tall. Now they're
Right.
6 foot tall
Right.
with all the parts.
But I want to say about when I was pregnant with your mom, you know, while he was born, and I wanted a girl so bad, and I was so glad that it was a girl. You know, I was sickly. I had kidney infection when I was pregnant with her, and everything. But I just wanted a girl because they were so close.
Right.
But they were close when they were young. But when they went to school, they had like separate. You know, they were not really that close.
Well, they
Because
definitely.
Laurie was, you know, I mean, they had, everybody's got their own different
Personality.
personality and
Right,
stuff.
right.
And I was happy when we had that because I know he wanted a boy. We were happy, and finally we got a Luigi, because that's what our doctor used to say. You're going to have a Luigi, and he thought when Marie was going to be born, that was going to be a Luigi.
Now, what was the deal with when my mom was born? Was there anything unusual about that?
Yes.
She was a big girl. Well, I had two water bags and everything, and she was supposed to be a twin.
Yeah. But she always said she ate her twin.
I gained 13 pounds, and she was 7'9".
Yeah.
You gained 13 pounds?
That's it. Yeah, and you know what, Papa? I went to the doctor. He was working on Ottawa Street, and Polly was babysitting Laurie.
At the meat packing company.
No, you were working in this, yeah.
Meat packing company.
And so coming home from the doctor, it was on a Friday, and I stopped to tell him that I was going to be, going to have, you know, going to go to the hospital on Monday. Because she said she was getting too big and I was dripping when my water broke. So he said, go home and make some gnocchis. I was going to go home and make some gnocchis because he wanted gnocchis. And then Polly was so mad at him. He said, she's going to go to the hospital and you want gnocchis.
I figured I wasn't going to get a good meal for a while, so I better get it before she goes.
No.
No, but no,
But then when we moved on Cyprus, and then Ned was born 3 years later, and they were real close. I think Laurie and Ned were close when they were younger. Your Ma had a lot of friends. Laurie did too, but she had them more when she was growing up. She had more male friends, I think. And, but they were good kids. They were. I mean, everybody does, but they never did anything bad.
Now, what made you name the kids what you named them?
I wanted to name your mother Gina Marie because after my mom, Gina, and plus I like Marie, but he wanted to name her Marie Ernestine because of his dad, Ernesto. So I never knew my sister's name was Marie. So my sister's name is Marie Ernestine. I never knew that. I always thought her name was Ernestine. And so, but that's Laurie Ann, we just met. And Ned Anthony, because St. Anthony was my favorite saint. And that's how we picked it. But your mother like the middle name.
Well,
Yeah. But we named it after his
right,
her grandpa.
right. Well, if you were to give a piece of advice to Andrew and Alex and Kristen and Austin and Kira and Trent and my great-grandchildren, a timeless piece of advice for how to live a good life, what would your advice be?
Always give 70%, because there's always 30% or 20% left over. It's not a 50-50 proposition. It should be 70-70 proposition. Both of you have to learn to give, both of you have to learn to take, and both of you have to learn to love and respect the person you're with. Because if you don't, and there's arguments between you two, it'll filter down into the kids, and you're making the kids a miserable life. Love each other as a person, not what they do for you or what you can get out of them. Love them as yourself, and you won't have no problem. But if there's an argument, never go to bed without kissing and saying, I love you, because one of you might not wake up in the morning.
That's true. And always think before, when you have an argument, I think it's the best. It's just like I used to do. Don't argue back. I did. And then to sit down and try to talk things over, because a lot of times you'll say things when you're upset,
Right.
and then it's too late to get it back.
Well, right, and then you're just feeding the machine of that
I know.
anger.
And always trying to be close to your family.
Right.
Because no matter what, you meet friends and stuff, but your family should come. And
Take that
always trust each other. You know, everybody's got their own
No,
different
no,
life,
no,
but-
no.
Right.
No.
No. Go play. Go play, baby. Go play. Is there any
Be honest. That's the main
Be
thing.
honest.
You
And
have
trust
to
each
love
other.
and respect. If you want to be loved and respect, you have to be able to give it.
Right.
Don't expect it coming and nothing coming back,
No,
because
no. And material things is not everything. Respect and love, and trying to be close to the family like we do. We have a picnic. You know, try to be close to the family. It's, you know, either side. Because if you don't, I got cousins, and sometimes some of my dad's cousins, I don't even know them. And it's sad. Like he said, cousin, you grew up, you didn't even know him. And it's nice to be close to the family.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, just to kind of for family information, where did your family come from?
my mom came from around Venice, and my dad came, what was the name of his town? Just out of Naples.
Campobasso.
Campobasso. Just a little-
Below
Yeah, it's Abruzzi. And I never heard nothing because my mom was very young when she came. I guess she was about 3 or 4 years old, 2 years old. And when my dad's family came, they stopped and landed in Pittsburgh, and they worked the brickyards, and then they filtered on down to the brickyards here in Rockdale, and they had, my grandparents had a little store, and I really never knew him. I knew on Sundays he would be in town, and we'd run like heck downtown because we knew what bus he'd be coming down, and just to see him. He was a person that I never knew. The same way with my uncles, my aunts, and my cousins from Rockdale, I never knew them. They kept in Rockdale, we kept in Joliet, and that was it. The only
Except
time
the
you-
wedding.
Except at a wedding or a wake,
Yeah.
then you would see them. But if somebody didn't die often enough,
Right.
you would never know who they are, because it might be 5 years before you see them again, you wouldn't know them.
Right.
But you were close to Dickie and them. You were always
Yeah,
close.
I was
Dickie
close with
and
Dickie.
Mardell.
Mardell, and
And,
the ones from Rockdale.
Rainey.
Rainey, yeah. But my sister, no, my other two sisters, no. And some of the ones from Joliet,
Oh,
I
Bob
would
was always
see-
close.
I would see, but
Bindi, you weren't close.
no, I never knew Bindi. Every time I saw him, he was very nice gentleman. Hi, how you doing, cuz? We talk a little, and he had his life, I had mine.
Right.
What he did, I never did judge him.
Right.
That
Oh,
Bob
Judge.
were always close. And so,
So-
Bob and June,
Your parents both came
from Italy.
from it.
no,
No, my grandparents came from Italy.
Grandparents.
not your
Okay.
dad.
My mom came from Italy, but my dad came from, he was born in the United States.
Okay. Okay. And their names were?
The ones from my dad's side was John Rocco, Antoinette Rocco, and my mom's family name was John Furlan and Lena Furlan.
It was supposed to be
Furlani.
Furlani.
But they shortened it and made it Furlan.
Yeah, but I don't know what your grandma would maiden name was.
I don't know what my
No.
grandma's maiden name was,
No.
from the Rock side. I never knew her.
She died.
I really never knew my mom's mom because I was young when she died.
She had glaucoma and
She went blind. And my aunt lived in the front house and my mom lived in the back house. They had a wire going between the two houses, so if she wanted to come by my mom's house, she'd keep the wire and she could walk across and then walk back on the wire. But then they always said I tripped it, but I would never do that.
And she was, your dad was 52.
My dad was
He died?
52 when he died. He died of silicosis,
What is that?
cirrhosis of the lungs from the silica of the sand. They worked at the brickyards. And my dad worked part-time for Noviello Memorials. All I can ever remember, he'd come home in the summertime and he'd change his clothes and away we'd go. I'd go with him when I was a little older, with markers, monuments, digging their own foundations. And I was a gopher. I'd go run to get this, I'd run to get that. And I think it was just to get me out of my mom's hair for a while.
Right.
And then when my dad got too sick to do it, I did it with Novielli's and Vic Gallo. And it was,
Your mom's 79.
she was 79, she died of a stroke. She had a very rare, she had a tumor in the heart. And they had to do the surgery with Loyola. And Loyola, and every doctor that worked on that surgery got a sliver of that tumor that was in her heart because that's never been known, and nobody's ever been known to have one.
And it wasn't cancer.
And it wasn't
Right
cancer,
inside her heart.
right inside her heart.
Yeah.
So every doctor or aide was involved with that surgery or taking care of her, they all got a sliver of that in plastic.
And Jenny was 69 when she
Jenny
died.
was 69, my older sister Jenny was 69 when she passed away with a heart attack.
And Joey was 59.
Well, then my other sister Lena, she's still living. Gloria, my oldest sister is living, and she's with Joliet,
She's 73.
73.
And,
I don't know if that,
and Mark
that tape might
died,
be
he was
going out.
52.
Mark, my nephew died at 52, my other nephew died at
59.
59.
Is it out?
It's getting there. It's
Okay,
getting
there's-
there. Well, I don't know. If you were to sum up your relationship, I mean, to each other, I mean, what does she mean to you?
What does she mean to me? She means my breath, because without breathing, you're dead, okay?
It means the world to me.
I
And, I mean, nobody's got a perfect marriage.
I don't care
Don't say that.
who they are.
Yeah, you
But
always have
with
your
her-
ups and downs.
I'll be honest, with her,
Yeah,
there's nothing. There's nothing.
but
I put her through hell,
but,
married to me, but through her, courage and love. It mellowed me and found out what true love is. She taught me what true love was. And the way she gets her grandkids, her kids, her grandkids, her great-grand, that's all she lives for. That's all I live for right now. I want to see my grandkids, I want to see my great-grandkids, I want to see my great-great-great-great-great-grandkids.
And I feel bad for Laurie. I hope someday
She'll find her
she'll
own.
find, get her